These are all the books that I read this week. Starting off with Want. This is a collection of anonymous letters put together by Gillian Anderson. The collection of letters are written from women all over the world. They are all written anonymously and they are all like unrestrained letters that talk about women's fantasies and their desires. I can definitely see how this book is progressive, especially on the subject matter that it talks about. However, I did feel like that the way it was structured maybe messed with the pacing a little bit. At some points as I was reading, I did feel like the book tended to drag a little bit. The second book that I finished reading this week is actually an audiobook and it is called Sex Cult Nun. Faith Jones grew up in a cult known as the Family or as the Children of God cult. Faith Jones' story is really unique in its own way as well because she was actually the daughter of David Berg, who was the founder of the Children of God cult. And she basically talks about her life and her experiences growing up in this cult from her childhood all the way to her early adult years. The last book on my list for this week is On Sun Swallowing by Dakota Warren. So this is a collection of poetry, prose, and journal entries that focus on the subject matters of girlhood, of hedonism, of religious trauma, and of nostalgia and childhood. It's also a very visual poetry book because there's a lot of photos and doodles in this poetry collection as well. I actually really enjoy this poetry collection. Her style of writing poetry is one that I really love. I find her writing to be very lyrical and I also really enjoy the imagery that she uses in her poems and prose.